this is just the beginning of a bright new future. And I'm grateful to have our President and CEO, Bill Conboy, introduce this special partnership today. Bill.
Thank you, Jim. Good afternoon, everyone. I want to begin by thanking Jim Brogna and his team, and John Cosgrove and his team for guiding us through this entire process and for getting us to where we are here today. I also want to begin by thanking our pediatric therapy team and all those that they care for in this community. Today is all about you and the patients you care for every day. I'm so grateful for the opportunity to announce Allied Services has received a $2 million grant from the AllOne Foundation. This is the single largest financial foundation gift ever received by Allied Services. The single largest gift ever received. This grant is going to make it possible for our great clinicians to continue to provide world-class therapy services to children and adolescents throughout Northeast and Central Pennsylvania. On behalf of everyone at Allied Services, and particularly on behalf of every parent and child we treat, I thank everyone from the AllOne Foundation. I'm now again grateful for the opportunity to honor a man who I admired and loved, Attorney John Moses. Following his hospital stay here, close to the end of his life, Pete, your dad directed us to pursue a grant with the AllOne Foundation. We're so grateful that he pointed us in this direction. As with so many of you here today, John was a friend, a mentor, and a confidant to me. John loved this community, and he dedicated his life to serving this community. His time with St. Jude's created a special interest in John to ensure that children with special medical needs could be treated right in the community where they lived. The $2 million grant from the AllOne Foundation will help us to honor John's legacy by giving us the ability to continue to care for children, again, right here in this community. It now gives me great pride and pleasure to announce the naming of the John P. Moses Esquire Pediatric Rehab Center here at our Wilkes-Barre Hospital. You will see when we walk over to the center after the ceremony that we will also honor the AllOne Foundation in the naming of our center. And so again, this is a great honor for me today to announce both the grant and the naming of the Pediatric Center in Attorney Moses' name. And now it gives me great pleasure to introduce John Cosgrove, the CEO of the AllOne Foundation.
Thank you all very much. I really appreciate your comments and sentiments, Bill. And I don't want to take too much of your time. In one of my first public appearances as the head of AllOne Foundation and Charities, John Moses actually sat next to me before I got up, and he said, "Keep it brief." And I tried to, but then when he got up to the microphone, he told everyone that there's no more dangerous place in northeastern Pennsylvania than to be between John Cosgrove and a microphone. So I don't know what I did to deserve that, but he was pretty accurate. I've got 3 things that I'd like to impart on you today. First and foremost, I want to take this rare public occasion to thank and acknowledge the board of directors of AllOne Foundation and Charities. Secondly, I'd like to take the opportunity, Pete, to thank you and your mom, Joyce, for allowing us to honor John's legacy in this way. And finally, I want to thank Allied Integrated Health System for many things. So to the first point, when I'm usually with the leaders of AllOne Foundation and Charities, not usually, it's always in a business setting. We focus on the business at hand. We're focused on the agenda to advance the mission of AllOne Foundation and Charities, which is, of course, to measurably improve access to health care for our families and our friends and our neighbors in northeastern and north central Pennsylvania. So this is a very rare occasion where there's so many other people in the room with the leaders of the foundation and charities. And it's really important for you to understand the vision and the foresight that they had when they created AllOne Foundation and Charities in 2015. A public charity and a private foundation and a for-profit organizations all working together. That's a very unique philanthropic model, which looked great on paper in 2015. But the execution of it all is really where their outstanding gifts and talents have come to bear. So in 8 years of active grant making, we've been able to distribute just a little bit more than $40 million in all corners of the 13 counties that we strive to serve. Grants like this, a big, grand, magnificent gesture of philanthropy to an organization like Ally, but also to the tiny kindergarten program in 40 Fort. And I would argue that the work that they're all doing is the same. It's focused on the advancement of our mission to measurably improve the life of the people that we strive to serve. So thank you to the founders and to the leaders of AllOne Foundation and Charities for making it even possible for us to be here and to have this impact. Thank you very much. Secondly, to thank you, Pete, and your mom for allowing us to turn the spotlight on the legacy of this remarkable man. There isn't a more fitting way for us to connect all of his good works than to name this pediatric rehab center for him. When we did bring the request to the leaders, it reminded me a great deal of what Nelson Mandela was known to say. He'd say there's no more keen revelation of the soul of a society than in how it treats its children. Why we're here today is a wonderful reflection of the soul of our society, because we've been able to direct these resources to this important work. And for all of his achievements in law, and for all of his accomplishments in civic life, I think arguments could be made that his most lasting legacy can be found in his work at St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, and here in northeastern Pennsylvania, in making life better for his neighbors, particularly the next generation of our citizens, our most precious commodity, our children. So thank you, Pete, and please say thanks to Mom for letting us honor his wonderful legacy in this way. And finally, and most importantly, to the people in green, I don't think we take enough time as a society to turn the spotlight on you, because we can write great checks and we can run multi-million-dollar healthcare systems, but it's you on the front lines every day that is the keenest reflection of what's best about our society. What you do with the kids you serve every day is miraculous. It's miraculous. So we're very pleased, we're honored in fact, to be able to write a check so that at least for the time being, you know that your work is sustained, that you can focus where your focus needs to be, and we can help out a little bit in taking away the concerns and worries about keeping the lights on, while you focus on what's most important, and that is to improve the lives of the children that you strive to serve. So those are the three things I hope to accomplish by taking a few minutes of your time, but it's all cloaked in very real, very sincere gratitude. So thanks very much.
great to see people together caring about the same common mission. I want to introduce and bring up Pete Moses to represent the Moses family in this recognition. Pete.
It is a great pleasure to be here to express the heartfelt gratitude that I, along with my mother and our entire family, have for the honor you're bestowing upon my father today. Thank you to all of his friends who are here to share in this momentous occasion. Thank you to Bill Conaboy and the leadership of Allied. Thank you to John Cosgrove and the boards of AllOne for making this event possible. To have my father's name associated with this excellent institution is so appropriate, since he experienced firsthand the great quality of care that Allied delivered to him as a patient on a daily basis. And Billy, you know he sang your praises for the care that he received right here in this facility around that corner. To have his name attached to a pediatric wing is more fitting, because as you know, my dad worked tirelessly for so many years for the health and welfare of children all around the world. He gave everything he had to everything he did in the pursuit of that. And so in the spirit of children, let me end by saying that John P. Moses in his heart had a dream that every sick child would have a story that began with the words, "Once upon a time," and always, always ended with the words, "Happily ever after." And thank you very much.
I'd like to invite Father Thomas Lunny from King's College to come up and say a prayer, and then everyone will join us over for the dedication of our pediatric center. Father?
What's in a name? John Moses. The name John means God is gracious. And certainly through John's legacy of care for children and so many in our community, we know something of the graciousness of God, but the graciousness of human beings who step up to make the world a better place for others. The name Moses, one drawn from the water. And that great biblical story from the Hebrew scriptures where an endangered child was drawn out of the water so that in God's providential plan, a people could be set free from oppression, be given the opportunity for life. John Moses, by the way that he lived his life, by the care that he had for this community, by the care that he had for children, was drawn out of the water, if you will, by God in such a way as to be a blessing to children in need, to those who needed to be set free so that they could have a fuller and deeper life. And so as we gather today, we have so much to give thanks and praise to the Lord for, and so let us lift up in a special way. We give thanks and praise for men and women like John Moses who dedicate their lives to the care and concern of others, who live a gracious spirit in everything that they do, and give their life talents, their energy, their compassion, and their love for others, especially for the most vulnerable in our society, the children. We thank you for the work of Allied Services and the great rehabilitation work that they have engaged in this place, and that this wonderful partnership and blessing from AllOne will enable for them. We raise up to you, O Lord, for blessing those who give their lives to the daily work of rehabilitation with children, that their efforts of care and love will bear great fruit, that they will know in their lives that what they do is so deeply important to the good of society and to the world. We raise up, most importantly, the children and their families who will be served here in this place under the name of the John P. Moses Esquire Pediatric Rehabilitation Center. Those children, their parents, will know the gift of deeper life, that drawn out of the water of their challenges by John and by his generosity, that they will know great blessing, that they will know peace, that they will know abundance in their lives. And we bless you. We bless the people that you have called together to bring this about. In your holy name we pray. Amen.